All right, time to write the main programs now. Now what we're going to do is to query this table and get the records. Now I'm going to use the collections in the Java framework to get the records. So I'm going to create a new class, and this is going to be like our main class. What I mean is that this class is going to have the public static void main method string args. I'm going to quickly take that before I forget. I'm going to select the name of the class by typing the name of the class. So I'm going to call the class generate dynamic web pages, web page. Okay, because that's what I want the class to do. The class is going to have a public static void main method. So I'm going to click on finish, and here we go. So I have a class, public class generate dynamic web page, and I have the main method here. Let's get this stuff out of here and get rid of this necessary space. Okay, so here's the main method. Now if you're a Java programmer, you should already know that the main method kickstarts every execution of the program. Alright, but first of all, we need a method that will query the database. We would have done that in the main method, but for one reason or the other, I don't really like doing that in the main method. I prefer to write a method to do the querying of the database, then I use the main method to call that method. You'll see how it goes in a short while. So I'm going to write that method. The method is going to have a private access. I want the method to return a list, which is a collection interface of sales record. Now this list is a generic list because it's gonna contain sales record objects, and that I mean this sales record class. Okay, instances of this sales record class will be inserted into the list that will be returned by this method that I'm about to write. Let me call the method get sales records, because that's what the method is about to do. Okay, so what we're gonna do in this method now, I need an SQL query to get these sales records, the corresponding sales record. So I'd like to head back to phpMyAdmin and run an SQL query that will retrieve the sales record that I inserted for me. It's very simple. If you click on browse, you're gonna see that it usually generates this query, select all from sales record. So that's gonna be my SQL query. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Eclipse and I'm gonna say string SQL is equals to that. Okay, I just copied what I had in phpMyAdmin and I pasted it in the string literal here. However, what was on phpMyAdmin was broken into up to 3 lines, but I don't need this limit 0, 30 because I need all the sales records, not limiting them by 30 records. Alright, so I'm gonna have to put my cursor just before the F or from and press backspace, and I put a space again to ensure that all of this goes in one line. Okay, and I'm gonna go over to the last position and put a semicolon there because it's a valid Java statement. Now Eclipse is telling me that list cannot be resolved to a type, so I'm gonna import list from java.util. Make sure you do not import lists from java.awt. So I'm gonna import java from util, and you can see it sets the import java.util.list statement. Okay, now the error here is indicating that I need to return a data type of list. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, but I have to finish writing the code. So to do JDBC like before, you need a connection. So I'm going to create a connection object. So let's say connection con is equals to null, and need to import connection. Okay, so I'm going to import connection from java.sql. Make sure you do not mistakenly import connection from con.mysql.jdbc, because that's going to be a different thing entirely. So import connection from java.sql. Okay, now that I've imported connection from java.sql, we need a try catch block. So the try block here, I'm gonna open it up. Now there are 6 steps to doing JDBC, so I'm gonna comment each step I do so that you can easily remember to follow these 6 steps. The first step, which is step 1, is to load the JDBC driver. Okay, so that's the first step, and to do that we simply say class dot for name, and then we are going to specify com dot my SQL dot JDBC dot driver. Oops, that would have been bad, wrong spelling of driver. So com dot MySQL dot JDBC dot driver. I'm missing a closing quote here. All right, so class dot for name com dot MySQL dot JDBC dot driver. What does that really mean? Okay, to explain what that means, I would like us to go over to the Java documentation so that I can go to the API of this class.forName and explain to you. Alright, so I'm going to bring up my web browser. Now I bookmarked the Java SDK documentation, so I have it over here in the Java Platform Standard Edition 7 documentation. I'm going to click on this Java AC API. And the Java AC API, the packages that we have, I'm going to go over to the java.lang package. So the java.lang package is over here, and in the java.lang package there's actually a class called class. It's quite strange, but it's true. Now this class, instances of the class represent classes and interfaces in a running Java application. What that means is that an instance of this class called class represents other classes and interfaces in a running Java application. Okay, if you don't understand what that means, don't sweat it. But what we're interested in is the method for name that is coming from the class. And you can see that this method for name is static because we did not need an instance of class in order to invoke the method for name. So let's check it out. What's the for name method used for? So I'm going to scroll down under methods. You can see that we have a static method that returns a class called forName, which takes as its argument a string. What does it do? What it does is that it returns the class object associated with the class or interface with the given string name. Now, who is the class object that will be returned that is given by the string name? In our code, I'm going to specify here that we specify com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Now that's the name of a class. Okay, now if you have a class that was you know the name and you can specify it as a string, you can load that class by using class.forName. Now where is this class? That's the question everyone is asking by now. The class com.mysql.jdbc.driver is found in your MySQL constructor. Okay, remember the MySQL JDBC driver we added to this project? The class com.mysql.jdbc driver is found there. Let's take a look. I'm going to expand the MySQL connector, and we have the MySQL connector Java bin jar file. I'm going to expand that jar file. Then you can see there are packages inside this jar file, and the package I'm interested in is this com.mysql.jdbc. In that package, we now have the driver.class. So that's where this class is. So in order to load that class, okay, usually we load classes by importing them, but sometimes we can load an instance of that class by simply calling class.forName. So that's how to load the JDBC driver. I'm gonna stop this video tutorial for now, and on the next video tutorial we are going to enter step 2 of the JDBC process. So see you on the next video tutorial.